Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Welcome to Miami and the Voices for Truth Summit, hosted by Combat Antisemitism Movement. I'm Jackie Karsh, a Los Angeles-based multimedia journalist, and I am your MC for the next 24 hours. So go ahead and hit subscribe to me, because you're going to be seeing a lot of me on your For You page for the rest of the evening and tomorrow. What a room. We have creators, influencers, comedians, educators, advocates, podcasters, meme makers, reel makers, and people who can explain 3,000 years of Jewish history, all in 59 seconds for the gram. Zach, talking to you. You all know the social media battlefield better than anyone. It's a world of hashtags, stitches, duets, carousels, and people confidently posting things they learned 3 minutes ago from a sourceless graphic. Somehow you all respond with humor and the receipts. But if we really think about it, Jewish history has always had influencers. Moses had tablets, the prophets had hot takes, and you all have trending audio. When CAM first gathered creators for Voices for Truth in 2024, the horrors of October 7th were still so raw. 2 years later, the wave of anti-Semitism has only grown, especially online. So over the next 24 hours, we need to sharpen our voices, build relationships, share ideas, and argue the Jewish way, fiercely but lovingly. Think of this summit as the ultimate creator collaboration. Except instead of a TikTok dance at Coachella, you are defending the Jewish people. Though I will remind everyone, somehow the Miami Boys Choir trended a few years back, so if anybody would like to choreograph a trending dance to Am Yisrael Chai, please go ahead. I will absolutely not stop you. Just remember to tag the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement in all of your posts. So with that, let's begin. Please rise as we honor the U.S. and welcome American-Iranian Jewish singer and vocal artist Gazelle Mizrahi to perform the Star Spangled Banner.
All who say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gazelle. Now let's welcome our first speaker for the evening, former Boca Raton Mayor Scott Singer. Scott is a Harvard and Georgetown educated attorney, a former small business owner, chair of the America First Policy Institute's Mayor's Council, and a member of the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement's U.S. Advisory Board. He is running to represent Florida's 25th Congressional District. Please welcome Scott.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to welcome all of you here tonight. And I've come to say thank you. With the terrifying rise of anti-Semitism, your voices are helping us combat the hate against Jews and attacks against Western civilization. This evil has been enabled by far too many institutions, politicians, universities, and media figures, not those in this room. More than ever, your leadership, your morality, your voice is needed as we all work to protect the ideals of our nation, and that those who wish to live in it can do so freely. As former Mayor of Boca Raton and now a candidate for our neighboring district in Congress, this issue is deeply personal. I'm a proud Jew and a proud American. Both Boca Raton and this district, where I was born, raised, and are raising our family, have large Jewish populations. I've worked to protect my neighbors and will always stand up to hatred. Anti-Semitism is no longer hiding in the shadows. It is visible and vocal. At a moment when Jewish Americans should feel protected and supported, too many feel they have to hide their identity. I reject that completely. We all must. The United States of America stands out for its promise that every citizen, regardless of faith, ethnicity, or background, can live openly, contribute fully, and lead proudly without fear. That promise has defined our nation for 250 years. Today, that promise is being tested. On college campuses across America, Jewish students have been harassed, assaulted, and targeted simply for being Jewish or for supporting Israel. We've seen mobs praise terrorists who slaughtered babies, raped innocent women, and tortured civilians. We've watched leftist professors celebrate this terror, promote anti-Semitism, and add support for these horrific acts under the guise of activism. We've seen gutless university presidents enable threats to Jewish students and cultivate a culture of ignorance and intolerance. We see a generation who have been misled and indoctrinated. At the same time, online anti-Semitism has exploded. Foreign bots are corrupting our youth and weakening our country. Social media platforms are rewarding outrage, extremism, and division, all for profit and at our expense. As this has unfolded, too many leaders in Washington and in major cities have remained silent, or worse, they've enabled hate. One party is now conditioning their support for candidates based on opposition to support for Israel. More than 24 members of one party of Congress have falsely accused Israel of genocide while refusing to condemn Hamas terrorists. Too many voices on the American left refuse to confront this evil with moral clarity. Some excuse and even romanticize the very forces of radical extremism that threaten Western civilization itself. In contrast, in my view, and many others, no president in American history has done more to support Israel and stand up to anti-Semitism than our current president, Donald J. Trump. He moved the embassy to Israel. He moved the American embassy to Jerusalem. He brokered the historic Abraham Accords. He withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal and continues to fight against a threat that is existential. He has protected the civil rights of Jewish students on campuses. He has been vocal that America stands with Israel and against Jewish hate. Yet many of these gains are obscured by mainstream media reporting. Support for Jewish people and support for our ally Israel should not be a partisan issue. Yet many media figures promote anti-Western and anti-Jewish false narratives. That's why your work is so important. To all the social media influencers, independent journalists, digital creators, and online voices who have stepped forward in this moment, thank you. You are using your platforms to expose the truth about Hamas, to document the horrors of terrorism, to amplify the voices of Jewish Americans and Persian dissidents, and to confront the propaganda from our enemies. Your work matters. We cannot be deterred by the rising sea of anti-Semitism and hate. More than ever, we must stand together with moral clarity and the courage to defend our values without apology. We will stand for our nation, our allies, and the highest ideals so that Americans can be free from hate and from fear. In today's digital battlefield, your voices are frontline defenses against extremism and efforts to weaken our nation. Thank you for being leading voices and helping us all stand stronger.
Maybe I can just jump. All right, before we get to our next speaker, a quick reminder about the content creation competition, the Viral Impact Challenge. So when you all checked in, you were assigned a partner, which means congratulations, you are officially in a content situationship. You also received a one-pager with the contest guidelines. You have 2 weeks after the summit to edit and submit your final videos. It gives you plenty of time to shoot, reshoot, add captions, remove captions, add them back, and ultimately say, okay, this is genius, we're posting it. Once the deadline passes, everyone will have an opportunity to vote on the videos. The winning duo will get $7,000 prize. That's what you cheer for? Okay. I should just lead with the $7,000. And there's a second place prize for $3,000. And a third place prize of $2,000. All right, good luck. I can't wait to see what you all produce. Now moving on to our next speaker, I'm happy to introduce Brandon Tatum, known to millions as Officer Tatum. Wait. I gotta give you your proper intro. He's a YouTuber, conservative media personality, former police officer, former college football player, and a leading Christian Zionist. He has handled criminals, quarterbacks, cable news, and YouTube comments. So this room should be a piece of cake. Officer Tatum has inspired millions to think boldly and defend the U.S.-Israel alliance. We are so thrilled to welcome him back after his keynote at CAM's Christian Leaders Summit in Orlando. Please welcome Officer Tatum.
What's going on, everybody? Well, I want to start out by saying that was such a good intro for me. I don't know if I deserve the credit for all that, but what I can tell you is that I am probably the biggest Zionist to ever live in American history. And I do not give a flying flip what these cowards say about me. I don't care what they say about you, because we're standing on truth. We're standing on what the Word of God says, and we're standing together as one, and they cannot beat us when we join each other in the same mission to accomplish the things that are great and make America great. They told me I had 5 minutes, which is crazy because it takes about 5 minutes for me to convince myself to get out of bed every morning. But I am very, very thankful. I'm very glad to be in the room with all of you guys. So many of you guys are my favorite people on the internet. I think that this is incredibly brilliant that they put this together, because it tells us or teaches us that we're not alone. It may feel like it when you look in the comment section and you see these nut jobs in there saying all that crazy stuff, saying we make it $7,000 a post, which I would love to make $7,000 a post. All of those things they say about us are a projection of their own inadequacy. They do not understand the true power of God. They do not understand that when God says something, it's final. When God said, "This is my people," he meant it. It's not up for debate. It's not up for question. And in the end of all of this, if we hang in there, we will defeat these cowards. And the truth will be commonplace across the beautiful United States of America. I'm gonna end it with this. I am an example, and I hope to be an example that you can stand up for the Jewish people and you don't have to be a Jew to do it. And it's not because of the clout, because I get towed up online every single day. It's because I do it because it's the right thing to do. I don't care how much backlash. I don't care how many people decide not to be my friends no more. I don't care what the algorithm does. Forever, as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna believe and trust in God, and I will support the Jewish people, and I'm gonna support Israel forever. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Officer Tatum. Now, the past half a year has been an extremely tumultuous one for the people of Iran, between demonstrations, repression of the regime, and a war. Many influencers have bravely used their platforms to advocate for future freedom and human rights in Iran, and we are honored to have a group of them here tonight. I'd like to invite them on stage now to be recognized. So when I call your name, if you could just come on stage. Gazelle Mizrahi. Matthew Nuriel. Naz Hashem. Joseph Yumtibian. Natalie Sanandaji. Vivica Max Victor. Michael Valdez. Ashtia Kian. Judith Oheb. Emily Schrader. And Shiva Nagar. As like this super Ashkenazi, I need to step aside. So Shiva. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you're gonna talk now. Okay, and then please welcome Shiva, a Persian-Canadian actress, producer, and human rights advocate. I think they all stay on stage.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be a while, guys. Just letting you know. I'm just gonna straighten that out. This is why I don't trust technology, and I have this, just in case. But I'm gonna. I promised I wasn't gonna go off the script, but I saw something on social media with a celebrity not having a clue what they're talking about. It's in my industry, and I call them out, and I get warnings because I'm an actress in LA, and people keep telling me, you know, maybe you shouldn't speak out, and I'm like, I'm never going to stop speaking about Iran and about Israel, and if someone doesn't want to cast me because of it, if someone doesn't want to cast me in their next TV project or movie because of that, and I wouldn't want to work with them anyway, so here we go. It truly means a lot to be here among so many courageous voices. And as an Iranian, speaking about anti-Semitism, it carries a very, very special meaning for me, because for us, this conversation is not abstract. It's deeply personal, deeply historical, and deeply connected to our own lived experience. Ever since the Islamic regime took power in Iran, it has impacted the lives of multiple generations, mine included. I was born in Tehran years after the Islamic Revolution, and I went to grade 1 in Iran. And my older sister went all the way through high school. Every morning before class, we had to line up and we had to chant death to 3 countries: death to Israel, death to America, death to England, or as they called it in Persian, İngiliz. There were drawings of the flags that were painted on the ground, and we were expected to step on them as children, as students, as we walked by. Now, as a child, you don't fully understand what any of this means. You don't question it. But looking back now, I realize something very chilling. This is exactly how hatred begins. This is how propaganda plants its seeds, slowly, systematically, and starting with children. By the time I was 7 years old, life had become increasingly difficult for my family, and my mother made the unimaginable decision to leave behind the only life she had ever known in order to give her daughters a chance at freedom. And her determination eventually convinced my father to do the same. That decision changed the course of my life forever. Our migration journey began in Istanbul, Turkey, which was supposed to be a short transit before reaching our final destination, and that was Germany at the time. But things did not go as planned, as they usually don't for refugees. We were separated from my father, betrayed by the very people who claimed that they would help us, and robbed of our life savings. What was supposed to be a few weeks became 15 years of separation from my father. My mother, sister, and I tried finding other ways to leave Istanbul with the little money that we had left, but that only led to more suffering, imprisonment, physical assault, and even my own kidnapping. But somehow, miraculously, through all of it, we survived. And we started from scratch. We got jobs, we tried to survive, we saved money and to try to figure out our next plan. It took 4.5 years before we were finally able to leave Turkey and immigrate to Canada, where once again we had to start over from nothing and adapt to a completely new life and culture. I myself did this one more time by moving to the United States to pursue my dreams and my acting career, but compared to what came before, this last migration journey was a privilege. This is a small portion of my story, and there are millions and millions of Iranians with stories like this. People whose lives have been fractured by tyranny, families separated, childhoods interrupted, people forced to leave behind their homes, their roots, their loved ones, simply to pursue the basic human right of freedom and dignity. This is the real cost of extremism. And perhaps that is why so many Iranians recognize anti-Semitism so clearly, because we have seen firsthand where indoctrination, dehumanization, and hatred can lead. The relationship between Iranians and Jewish people is one of the oldest and most meaningful connections in history between two ancient civilizations. From the time of Cyrus the Great, who liberated the Jewish people from Babylon and allowed them to return to Jerusalem, to the thousands of Jewish refugees and orphan children who found refuge in Iran during the World War II, Jews were never strangers to Iran. They were always part of Iran's civilizational story itself. This ancient connection was hijacked by a regime that turned hostility toward Israel and hatred toward Jews into part of its political identity. But no amount of hatred, propaganda, or hostility promoted by the Islamic regime can erase the thousands of years of deeply rooted connection and our shared history. And today, many Iranians and Jews recognize something very important in one another, a shared understanding of what extremism is capable of, a shared understanding of loss, displacement, resilience, and survival. We understand each other's pain. We get it, and we know who's the enemy. And despite all the attempts to spread fear, to spread division and propaganda, there are still people in this room and around the world choosing truth over hatred, and humanity over extremism, and courage over silence. That is exactly why events like this matter so much. I truly believe that one day, very soon, Iran will be free. I believe the Iranian people will I believe that the Iranian people will reclaim both their country and their true identity from those who hijacked it 47 years ago. And when that day comes, the relationship between Iranians and Israelis will once again reflect what it once was, rooted in respect, humanity, friendship, and peace. And they will be the best of allies. But until then, we will continue to speak truthfully. We will continue to refuse dehumanization, to educate the next generation instead of indoctrinating them, and most importantly, to never allow hatred to become normalized, because no regime, no ideology, and no propaganda machine is stronger than human courage when people actually choose to stand together. Thank you.
Okay, we've got these certificates. Melanie? Melanie? Hold on. I know Emily. Emily, this is yours. Everybody gets an award. Okay. Okay. Judith? I feel like graduation. Shiva? Okay. Michael? He's coming tomorrow. Coming tomorrow. I can pretend to be him. Okay. Natalie, I know you. Joseph. Matthew. Matthew. It's like a Persian graduation here. Okay, I think you're gonna do a photo. Again, try not to fall off. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So do you want to get this with you? All right, thank you to all of our amazing Persian advocates. You're up. Now, if you don't know Zach Sage Fox, congratulations on having healthier screen time habits than everybody else. He is a comedian, filmmaker, and digital creator who is everywhere and uses humor and sharp social commentary to take on anti-Semitism, misinformation about Israel, and the internet's ongoing allergy to context. And with 3 names, Zach Sage Fox, he was destined to either become a digital creator or run a Jewish law firm. Zach, the online community thanks you for choosing the former. We are going to first watch, we're gonna first watch a short video of Zach, then invite him on stage to be presented with a special award from CAM, recognizing his creative leadership, courage, and commitment to standing for American values and fighting anti-Semitism. The award will be given to Zach by entrepreneur and philanthropist Igor Tolchinsky, CEO of World Quant, whose generous support is what made this summit possible. After Zach accepts his award, Igor will remain on stage for a conversation with me. So let's roll the video.
Today we're gonna play a game called Hamas. Can I ask you a question for $1?
Yes.
I'm vanilla, baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby. She 28, telling me I'm still a baby. I get love in Detroit like Skilla, baby. And the thing about your boy is I don't want no whips and chains, and you can't.
You got $1.
But you can whip your loving on me. That's right, whip your.
How would you describe it, you? Daredevil. Are there any forgotten facts about the war that you would want to get out there?
Just because we are Jewish, we are a target. That's exactly what the world forgot.
They just want Jewish blood, and it doesn't matter about the land even. They use it to cover it up. They don't want it.
As someone who survived the Holocaust, is there a fact for peace you think is important for people to know?
Life is hard, that they have to be strong. It's the only way to be free.
What the is happening with Gen Z? They've become Gen T, Gen terrorists.
Hashtag fuck terrorism.
Thanks for educating me.
Okay, cool. Yo, I feel like I'm in my echo chamber, by the way. It's like my whole algorithm is here. But no, it's so great to be here, guys. Yes, I'm Jewish, which confuses people because I look like a lesbian. Yeah. Right now, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. And, unless I'm in the West Bank, then I'm Italian. But no, guys, seriously, this is like the biggest honor of a lifetime. Honestly, I remember sitting here at CAM 2 years ago, and I was actually running outside. There was like this Mossad agent I was working with to get my footage back from the West Bank. This was like right before that video dropped. And I remember 2 years ago sitting there and just being like, this was this new sort of world, like Jewish influencer, Hasbara influencer, 7K influencer. And I was just so humbled and honored to meet so many people that I'd seen on my screen. And, 2 years later coming here, it's this amazing moment because, after 10/7, I spoke out because my idols all didn't. You know, I was a Jewish comedian, and every one of my idols was Jewish. You know, Jon Stewart, Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen. And I really, still to this day, I'm shocked to my core that none of these people have said a goddamn thing in the last 2.5 years. And I'm sorry to crap on Adam Sandler, but like, even the Bondi shooting, you know, I mean, this guy has made millions of dollars off Hanukkah, and he had nothing to say about that. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And so, but you know, I'm less pessimistic than I was at the beginning, and it's because I get to look at all of you guys. So hold on, let me put this award down. No, and I mean this sincerely, because people ask me all the time why I'm so optimistic still. I mean, I'm like in the weaves with anti-Semitism and anti-Westernism, just like all you guys. But I'm optimistic because we were doing the equation wrong before 10/7, and we were doing it wrong because the technology wasn't there to do it right. So before we would go, okay, Jew, famous, Jewish hero, right? Because that's all we could do. But then we've seen in the last few years these people that are, just because they're famous or they're Jewish or they're famous and, you know, they're friends with Jews, and like, it didn't mean they're a hero, right? It just meant that they were a famous Jew. Now we get to do the equation right with social media, which is Jew, hero, or Jewish ally, hero. Let's make that person famous. Let's do it. That's what social media is here to do. The whole equation's different. And so I look at people in this room that honestly weren't even on my radar 2 years ago. I'm gonna give, like, you know, Sahar TV, like someone I just think about. He's doing the most amazing work, and I didn't know who he was 2 years ago, and his channel was probably very young. We talk about Tal, Nate Freeman's here. I mean, people, you can go from nothing to something like that because of the internet. And because of that, I am confident that we are going to turn the tide. We really will. I believe it, sincerely. I'm serious. From one lesbian to, I mean, I really believe it. We do live in a crate. The lesbians love Hamas, which is very confusing, by the way. They're the only men they like. I still don't get it. No, but I'm more optimistic about the future than ever, and I know it's hard. Like, it's not easy what we're all doing, and I don't even know if the word influencer is a way to describe what we're doing, because, you know, when you think of influencer, you think of like selling beauty products, and there's a lot of money in influencing. This, you know, the joke about the 7K, and I was there in that Netanyahu photo. Thank you very much. But I actually was the one who got all the articles to take the photo down. I threatened to sue them, like a good Jew. But, you know, like, the funniest thing about that was, like, there isn't money in this. This isn't some big profitable industry. None of these people here, no one's going into this for money. If you wanted to go and do it for money, you would partner with Qatar, and that would be a much smarter use of your time. But we're here because we care. And the thing I love about this room of people is this has become something so much bigger to me than just combating anti-Semitism, even though Combat Antisemitism is a great name, you shouldn't change it. But it really is about preserving the West. And, you know, so basically, my quick story, I run a production company. After 10/7, we started partnering up with a lot of Jewish nonprofits, and, you know, we started working with data companies, really bringing data in to see how you could actually move the needle. And what really surprised us over the last couple of years is there's a lot of persuadable people out there that just genuinely don't know the facts about Israel, about Jews, about America, the facts about Israel and Jews, but there's a certain population you can't move on that issue because a lot of the people have been indoctrinated to hate the West and hate America, and Jews and Israel, if you hate capitalism, if you don't care about being the only democracy in the Middle East, you're not gonna give a shit about Jews or Israel or our story. We really are part of the fabric of democracy, Western civilization, and democracy came from Judeo-Christian values. It is. That is where it came from. And so you can't untangle the two. And so, you know, I just started a nonprofit called Think Again, and I'm so excited because I'm trying to flip the equation. I want there to be tons of money in the Jewish Hasbara, whatever we want to call it, ecosystem, to be able to put messages out there, to be able to put the right production out, because you know, there's 2 billion Muslims. There's a lot more people who hate Jews than like Jews. And so if they want to, you know, go post that, you know, we train dogs to go rape people, that can go viral like that, because there's enough people that hate Jews. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be right. But we need to make the truth go viral in a really entertaining and inspiring way. And so, I hope 2 years from now I'm sitting on the stage and I'm working with a ton of you with my new nonprofit, Think Again, because we are trying to make people think again about America, the West, Israel, all the issues that they have stopped teaching in schools and the colleges. I don't know how to change that, but I do know how to change what's in people's hands on the phone. And so I'm just so honored to be in this room with so many of you guys. You guys are like all heroes to me. Seriously, it's so cool. It really is my whole algorithm. I was like on the toilet and then I came out and I saw like 10 people I was just scrolling on looking at, like my whole algorithm's here. And the most amazing thing I think about where we stand today is that our follower counts are only going to go up. Everyone who is in this room, who is plugging away, who is putting out the truth, you're only going to be more known, more successful, more prominent in the years to come. I'm sure I'm gonna be watching some of you guys run for office, and it's just gonna be an amazing thing. And so we have to remember that although there are so many people against us, that we can make the truth go viral. And my last analogy that I want to do, they wanted me to come and do like a little social experiment. And so I came up with this high out of my mind the other night, but we're going to try it. Okay. So the way I like to think about, being a Jew, what we're doing here, the thing that inspires me the most is, being a light in the darkness. Does anybody else relate to that? For me, that's... If I had to sum up what being a Jew means, to me, that's what it means the most. It's being a light in the darkness. And I've had everybody got really quiet. Okay, cool. We're getting serious. But yeah, to be a light in the darkness. And, God, though, wouldn't have said that if the world wasn't dark, right? He wouldn't have said that if the world wasn't a dark place. And that's how I've come to kind of rationalize this, is we're here on a mission to be that light. And so I want to do a little social experiment with everybody. So everybody, go on your cameras. We have a very savvy thing here. Everybody pull out your phone. All right, we're going to go on video. Everybody, I want you guys to record. I want you to put your flash on. Can we get the people in the back? Can we raise the lights as much as possible in the room right now? Just turn on the room lights as much as possible. All right, so everybody start recording. Put your flash on. I'm gonna do the same. All right, so we're doing a social experiment at the Combat Antisemitism Movement right now. I've now asked everyone in this room to record, turn their cameras on. I'm looking at my lens right now. I see a bunch of dots. I do. I see a bunch of dots, but honestly, it looks almost exactly the same as before you guys turned your lights on. Now, let's turn the lights completely off. Let's try this. Turn the lights completely off. The difference it just made on camera, all of a sudden your lights went from barely noticeable to lighting up this entire room. There is no lights on except the tiny little dots of light on your phone. And that is what it means to be a Jew and to follow the Jewish mission. We are spreading light in the darkness, which means God knew the world was going to be dark, right? And he sent us on a mission. So we are here to light up the world, and just like a few lights in the entire sky help us see everything at night, they illuminate the entire world. We, as Jewish influencers, as allies for the West and America, as Christians, as Muslims who are here fighting for the truth, our small little lights, dispersed as they may be, can light up the entire world. I'm Yisrael Chai. I love you guys. Let's turn the lights on. And that was a cool social experiment. I really hope you guys felt that too, because it really is that we can all make a small difference, and together our small differences help light up the world and help keep God's commandment to be that light in the darkness. I love you all so much. Thank you.
All right, I want to introduce you all to Igor Tulchinsky, who made this conference all possible. So first, let's start out with a round of applause.
Thank you.
So Igor immigrated to America from Minsk as a child. Igor, what did America represent to your family then, and how has that shaped the way you think about freedom?
America in those days represented, freedom, opportunity, and lack of anti-Semitism as well. And so my parents made a very early call to leave the Soviet Union and come to America. And America at that time turned out to be everything we thought.
Now, the Soviet Union isn't known for truth. Did immigrating to the US make you more sensitive to what can be lost when societies stop defending truth?
Sorry, say that again?
So, you know, the Soviet Union wasn't known for being a truthful entity, right? So when you come to America, where truth is a value that we hold dear, did coming here, did it make you value that value more?
It gave you a culture shock, basically, because in the Soviet Union, they said that the American stores are empty, and then the reason they're empty is because nobody can afford to buy anything, and then you come here and it's a complete opposite. And you know, the first thing you do is, coming from a country where bananas are sold once a year, you eat as many bananas as you can.
I think at Trader Joe's, they're just like 19 cents. You built WorldQuant into a major global investment firm. What exactly is quantitative investing? I know that's a little bit of a heavy subject for everybody here, but let's hear what Igor has to say.
Quantitative investing is getting hold of all the data that's out there and then transforming the data into trading strategies and creating a profit. So from data to strategies to profit. And the more data there is, the more you can do.
Well, you had a couple of interesting professions prior to starting WorldQuant, and then obviously you made it big with WorldQuant and were very successful. What do you think ambitious people get wrong about success?
That you have to fail many, many times before you succeed.
Okay, and what advice would you give to the young people in this room, or younger people in this room, who are thinking about building their own brands into a business?
You know, just pick a subject and think about it all the time, because there are lots of smart people, but very few people can think about something all the time. And eventually you will surpass all the people who cannot think about it all the time, and you will succeed.
Short and sweet, I love it. Now, your work with WorldQuant sorts out what's real among like super enormous amounts of data. When you look at the world today, do you think we are losing the ability to tell the difference between truth and fiction?
To some degree, yes, because it's so easy to make fake videos, fake this, fake news, fake anything. So it's becoming more and more important to have something that can distinguish truth from fabrication. And there are technologies being developed, you know, to tell the difference, because garbage in, garbage out.
Well, the problem with that is that in finance, bad information just leads to bad decisions in business. But bad information about Jews in Israel has real consequences, physical consequences. So how do you think about misinformation and its effect on the Jewish people?
I think there's numbers in play. There are 15 million Jews and 10 billion of everybody else. And that puts the Jews at a disadvantage in a way, but these days they have something called asymmetrical warfare, and that's when you are at a disadvantage, but you use your opponent's huge size and inability to move quickly to gain the upper hand. It's the intelligence that matters, not the size.
Yeah. Now, you are not someone who naturally seeks out the spotlight. Everybody else here does. Yet you have stepped forward in a very, very visible way to support combating anti-Semitism. What changed for you? Why did you decide to make that move?
Because when October 7th happened, I went to Israel and I talked to a number of people, and I got the inside story of You know how social media was being used unfairly against the Jewish people, so I decided to do whatever I can to reverse the trend. And the more I learned, the more obvious it became what to do, what's important, right? We were turning off all the lights here a few minutes ago and looking in the darkness at the lights. Well, there's plenty of darkness out there, but not so many lights. But the lights are visible, and they're asymmetric. Just one light can light up a whole room.
Yeah, that was Miep Gies who hid Anne Frank, who said that. So there are a lot of various creators in this room. There are some who make content based on facts, emotion, humor, courage. Which do you believe is the most effective on social media? Just a personal taste. And then obviously he'll invest whoever in that one.
I think it's truth and courage, because in the end, truth is truth, and you can't really change it. But to say the truth takes a lot of courage sometimes, and people have to have that courage to tell the truth, even in the face of great lies. I think there's a poem called If, and one of the segments...
Rudyard Kipling?
Kipling, yeah. One of the pieces there, if I don't butcher it, says...
I know that poem by heart, so I'll help you out if you need it.
Says, when being dealt with something, don't deal with lies. And that's kind of what's important. Just do the right thing all the time, and everything else takes care of itself.
So Zach mentioned he's very optimistic about the future. You are known for being a deeply optimistic person. I happen to be a very hopeful person as well. In a world that often feels so negative, where does that optimism come from?
Well, negativity leads to defeat and death. So
you got to be hopeful.
That's where optimism.
There's only one option.
Yeah.
Survival equals hope. Okay, and when you look at anti-Semitism today, what do you think worries you the most of everything?
I think anti-Semitism can be blamed in a large part on social media. Some studies that I've run indicate that 80 to 85% of anti-Semitism come from social media these days. And perhaps the people who orchestrated the October 7 attacks did a little bit of work beforehand, and they made connections with the right companies or the wrong companies. So when it happened, they were ready, you know, to talk about babies blown up and this and that. So I think social media is a very, very dangerous weapon, and it should really be policed to make sure that only truth is disseminated on that channel.
Okay, we have one final question. Take a look at this room. What is one piece of advice you want every single person in this room to leave with tonight?
One piece of advice.
You could do two if you'd like.
No, you said one.
I'm feeling generous.
finish what you start.
Well, we started this interview and it's time to finish. Thank you, Igor. I'm putting it right into effect. All right, you're gonna head off. Okay. All right, and a special message from Zach Sagefox. I really enjoy saying your full name there. Please post the video that you filmed with him now. Now. That's the best part about social media conferences. You can live post. We like that. All right. I am honored to welcome someone who came all the way from Tel Aviv to be with us. For the past 6 years, Sasha Reutman has led the Combat Antisemitism Movement as CEO, helping to build CAM into one of the leading global voices for the Jewish people. Sasha has a rare gift. He can speak about the dangers facing the global Jewish community with urgency and clarity, and still make you feel confident that change is possible. Sasha's leadership is the heart of so much of what CAM does, and after Sasha's remarks, we'll keep the night going with our opening of Be Yourself Party. And don't worry, like a good Instagram ad, I will be back tomorrow. Please welcome Sasha.
I have a problem, and I built this event and I didn't know that Brandon would be so good, so kind of, do you want to read my remark? Like, this is a Jackie remark, sorry. Mine was here, no, it's here. So next time I will put myself before you and not after you. Thank you everyone. From around the world, we have people from Argentina, Israel, Europe, United States, all the corners of America. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, yes, you deserve it. You pause your lives, you stop everything, and you decide to be here for the second edition of the Voice for Truth Summit. We don't take that for granted, and we know it's important for you to be here. It's important for us because we're building a community that is changing the world. Last time, I missed the summit because my wife was giving birth. If you remember, I was on camera from Tel Aviv. And this time is my last trip before she's giving birth for the 4th time. So that's a big announcement, yes. So when Trump will renew the war, please think about me running to the bomb shelter with 3 kids below the age of 7 and 1 pregnant wife with hormones. It was not easy the past war, so you can imagine the small bomb shelter, the hormones running and kind of not sleeping and everything. But if you think about it one moment, we have 200 people in this room that all together representing 100 million followers around the world. This is just incredible if you think about it. And look around yourself, look around this room. What I know about this room, it was said before, it's not easy to defend the Jewish people, to defend America, to defend our democracy. You've been attacked online and offline every day. So this is why we have created this summit, for you to be supported, to grow, and like Zach said, to all of you, grow, and continue to grow to have an impact and change the narrative. Thank you. Unfortunately, I don't have good news. The future doesn't look so good. So like Winston Churchill said, I have nothing to offer but blood, toils, tears, and sweat. He's one of my spiritual leaders, so I love to quote him. But today I decided to change a little bit one of his famous quotes that starts like that. Today, we should fight on the streets. Pay attention, I know very well. We should fight on the campus. We should fight online. We should fight on our schools, in our workplace, in our cities, in every place where hate tries to take roots. We should fight with truth. We should fight with courage. We should fight with unity. And my friend, we should never surrender. Yes, never. What we need is courage, is allies, actions, more content, more people, and your voice to be heard. This summit matters, my friends. It matters deeply. This is why we made it. And we made it possible, and we already had a standing ovation I was planning to do right now for Igor Tulchinsky that supports us from day one when we're standing. So if you don't mind, second standing ovation for Igor Tulchinsky that support us. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Now I need a little moment of honesty. When I was young, I didn't imagine that I will be the CEO of the Combat Antisemitism Movement. Most of Jewish boys and kids want to be doctors. Like no one says, yeah, I was 7 years old, I want to fight anti-Semitism. Sounds so cool. It's a great business right now. So yes, we do well because it's rising, but I didn't believe that is what I will do with my life. I grew up in Belgium. Someone have been in Belgium? Yeah. The worst country in Europe today. But I was a proud Belgian. I was very proud to be Belgian. I was also very proud to be Jewish. I was proud to be Zionist. But things got a little bit more complicated when I was 12 years old. Things started to change. The environment was not good. I play basketball in Maccabi Brussels. Do you believe there is something like that? Maccabi Brussels. And we're actually good. We play against other teams, and they were surprised that a young Jewish team was good at sports. They didn't believe that it's possible. And the more we play in our division, the more the club start not liking us. And they were not happy. They didn't like to see a Jewish team winning. And we started being insulted and called dirty Jews. We were at the age of 12 and 13. We were called dirty Jews. We're just playing our Belgium and playing basketball. Then the second Intifada came. If you remember, things got worse. The media was bashing Israel very violently. Story of Mohammed al-Dura in the news. And I was the only Jewish boy in the classroom. And everyone asked me, why, Sasha, you killed Palestinians? I'm in the classroom, I'm like 14 years old, I don't kill anyone. And then I understood something very important. It doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter what we think or what we do. We are Jews. And we are accused of anything and everything in the world, no matter what. That moment also taught me something very important, and the meaning of Zionism beyond the fact that Israel is the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people. I understood that we need a strong Israel, a place where every Jew can be safe anytime, a place we can go when hatred shows its ugly face. Because I did not feel safe in my country in Belgium, I moved to Israel 22 years ago. I served in the IDF, thank you. But wait. I will tell you when you can applaud. I served in the IDF for 6 years and then another 10 years in the reserve duty, 16 years serving in the military. That you can applaud. That's good. I have seen a lot, but what I have seen is also anti-Semitism in the Middle East. I saw how Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, other radical Palestinian crew killed Jews just because they are Jews in Israel. And they've been waiting for one moment, the moment to take us by surprise. And it happened on October 7. They took us by surprise. Probably the worst day that I remember for all my life. And today I travel the world for CAM, for fighting anti-Semitism. We have an office in Australia, we work in Latin America, United States, Europe. And we see the same things everywhere, the growth of vicious ideologies. From a reborn Marxism, reborn radical Islam growing everywhere, extreme progressive left, extreme radical right, they're growing as a coalition against everything that the modern society has built. But today we have learned that we'll never compromise again. We have learned that we are pro-Jews, and we also learned that we'll never show our back to Israel again. And that's very important, my friends. Never we're going to show our back to Israel. We're ready to fight back, ready to advocate. We speak, we share the truth. And most importantly, we have allies. Also today in this room, we have Christian, Muslim friends, so I would like all the non-Jews to stand up. Show your face, show your voice, please stand up. Yes, we are not alone. Thank you. Thank you. Woo! Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you, and you stand with us You understand, we stand where is Michael Dixon? You'll be proud of me, right? You understand that Jews are the canary in the coal mine. You understand that if we do not fight back together, you are next on the line. And I will end with my personal story that is my personal motivation, why I decided to fight anti-Semitism, not to go in business or whatever other things that a young Jewish boy will want to do. But it all starts with my grandparents that survived the Holocaust. My great-grandfather were all sent to the gas chambers. But my grandparents survived. And I have two persons in my life that changed who I am and made me who I am today. First is my grandmother, and I would like to share a little story of her life, but very a little one. Is a story that I heard from my mother one time. My grandmother never agreed to tell that to any of the grandchildren. After the war, she was in hiding for all the war. There is one thing she wanted to see, is her father coming back from the gas chamber, from the chamber, but no one knew if he was alive or not. So in the small city of Charleroi, in the south of Brussels, every Wednesday, there were trains coming from Poland with some of the survivors. Every time was 10, 5, 1, 2, for 3 years. Every Wednesday, she was coming dressed in white with flowers. When I think about her, like, it's hard for me because it's my grandmother. She went through that for 3 years, every Wednesday. More than 150 Wednesdays she went there to see we'll come back. He never did, of course. It changed my life. It made me fighting for our memory, for the memory of my family. The other person that made me who I am is my grandfather. He survived everything, but I will tell you what he survived. The Holocaust, that's pretty big. COVID-19 at the age of 90, he was hospitalized twice, he survived. 4 cancer, he never smoked, but 4 cancer. And cancer of the lymph cancer. I think it was a psychology cancer because his father was murdered in a gas chamber and was suffering from lymph. So he survived everything. And I don't know where I was in my speech. But and this is why I'm fighting because of him, but what traumatized me is that he witnessed October 7 as an Holocaust survivor. And he was still alive when it happened. And he saw again Jews murdered like his father was, like his friend, like his uncles were murdered the same way, just one day of the Holocaust happened on that day. Also, he saw people supporting Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran on the street of Europe and United States. While I was sitting in my bomb shelter with my kids, like he was in hiding 80 years before, hiding to not be killed by the Nazis. He died afraid for the Jewish people. I hope that today and tonight he's seeing this room. It will make him feel well, I believe. I hope he can see the energy that all of you are bringing in this fight every day. And I hope we can show him, we can show all the 6 million Jews that have been sent to the gas chambers, all the millions and the thousands of victims of anti-Semitism across the world, Bondi Beach, Manchester, DC, and others, that will never, never, my friend, will never surrender. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just missed, and I think this summit is being made possible also by the incredible team of CAM. You have met many of them, Yana, Adas, Oriana, Derek, who I miss, Jackie, our wonderful speaker, Barney, and many, many others. So thanks to the team that will make this summit incredible for all of you. And if you need anything, you know, to reach out to us. What? Yeah, I know, I just say thank you to the team because I cannot, this is my role, I'm the CEO. No, I'm not saying goodbye, I'm just saying thank you to the team and I'm leaving. Thank you to the team of CAM, yeah!